and anyone else who cares to listen. I really messed up on the chapter numbers, so I am starting afresh with this one because I was listening to last one and I said it was chapter 8, but it wasn't. This one is chapter 7, so you'll just have to forgive your mother for being once again a random redhead. And I have the tree, the one that I told you that I was starting to work on at the very beginning. Ideally, I was going to add something after every chapter and see if you could see what I'd added, but that kind of went out the window. But I will get back to it. Right now, I am trying with all my heart to post another thrilling installment of Asleep. Okay, chapter 7. Reunion. I didn't come to visit, dear one. I came to inhabit. Will you let me? Will you surrender completely to my plan for your life? I long for my people to know me. But for now, go in the strength that you have. Touch them, Zabina, reach them. For me, I know what I'm doing, treasured one. I have it all planned out. The one was talking again. Even in her sleep, she could hear him. Right now, she was wide awake, staring at the desert, as she'd done so often in her childhood. Do not be afraid, my precious Sabina, for I will never leave you. I never have. Nothing you will ever face can catch me unawares. Wolf's phone is going off, so we'll just ignore the background entertainment, okay? Where was I? Okay. Nothing you ever face will catch me unawares. Do not fear. Simply believe. She was learning to rest in the knowledge that the one was with her, night and day, just as her parents had always told her. He was helping her succeed in the smallest of tasks. It felt good not to be alone anymore. She seemed to need reminding that he was with her constantly, that she had no need to fear. Over and over, he spoke it to her heart. So much so, she was starting to accept it as simple fact. I am near, always. You are precious, valuable, beloved in my eyes. Your heart will bear me witness. I'm training you, Zabina, arming you for battle. Not a natural one. No, dear one, the battle you face will be fought in realms you cannot see, and the prize is the souls of men. Fear not, my child, for I am with you. I will train your hands for war and will give you success in all you undertake, if you will but follow me. Her heart and mind said a resounding, I will. Sleep came swiftly that night. Two shining ones, massive in form and intimidating in nature, watched over her as she slept, one at her head, the other at her feet. They had been assigned to her from birth, to guard and keep her life, yes, but also to empower her when the time came for her to embark on the mission assigned her before time began. Their greatest pleasure was to fulfill the will of the One. They obeyed instantly, unquestioningly, completely. In the dark, they waited. It would not be long before they would be needed, desperately needed, and they were ready. They had been trained for this since their creation. It was what they did best. They took great pleasure in it, and the enemy knew it. The day appointed by Zabina herself was one filled with anxious thoughts and logical arguments, but she quieted her mind and found that same gentle peace and rest from the grove still with her. She had a feeling the One intended for it to remain. It had become a source of strength to her. Seated on her special rock pile, just outside the hut, the morning had been spent repairing Papa's favorite shirt. How he could tear it up so fast and so thoroughly was quite beyond her. As she sewed, she sung softly and thanked the one for being good to her. Life felt brand new. She felt brand new. Nothing seemed impossible on a day like this. The sun high in the sky, with a wind to cool her skin. Papa's favorite shirt had also become hers. A faint sound to her left made her eyes shift from the work. Zeb had returned, with Arab close at his heels. The prophets, true to their word, were back to learn her answer. They approached the hut and bowed low before her, giving respect that surprised her. Arab smiled that haunting smile of his, and one look in his eyes was all it took. He read her like an open book. How very irritating. You know of the one, creator of all things, and of his desire that you should tell of him and his wondrous works to all men in all lands, so they can hear his perfect plan and choose to accept it. All beings of earth or other realms receive their life from him. You know this. You have seen him. Sabrina didn't even flinch. She'd stopped asking herself how he did it days ago. Arab reached out his large hands and placed them gently on her thin, small shoulders. Intense eyes looking into the depths, deepest depths of her soul. Hold on. You know of his plan for you, your mission, to go and tell of the one, your mandate. You are chosen above all others, your message. He has anointed you, Zabina Kiriakin, to be his prophet. Yeah, I know. His ambassador to the hurting world. Publish abroad a message of his love, forgiveness. If I remember right, there was even some goodness and mercy thrown in there for good measure. I'm to tell of his wondrous deeds to the children of men. Isn't that how you put it? Oh, and let's not forget, he prizes above all things the hearts of men. Really, I've got it. She regretted the last part as soon as it left her mouth. She didn't mean to be rude. She was still processing this whole outrageous idea. It is a great honor, Sabina, to be chosen by the one for such a mission. You do recognize this, do you not? His kind eyes again laid her soul bare. You've mentioned it a time or two, she grinned. A seer with a story, a man with a message, so to speak. She couldn't suppress a laugh bubbling up inside of her. Man, as in mankind. Rather, womankind. I get it. You are correct. The one has only your best interests at heart, I assure you. I'm sure he does. Again, she regretted the rash words and wished for the 10th time that day that she could control her mind and her mouth. Forgive me, I still feel a little overwhelmed. Very natural, my dear Zabina. I myself had a similar reaction when I was told of his plan for me. Disbelievingly, she gazed at him. Arib settled himself beside her on the rock. She glanced at Zeb to find him humming softly to himself and staring at her mother's prize cabbages. No cryptic utterances to share today? Zeb continued to hum and appeared to be ignoring her, so she ignored him. How did you come to be called by the one? You never said. Arib's right hand reached out to gently rest on her arm. Zabina wondered if she crossed a line. She couldn't help herself. Curiosity may have killed many cats, but it usually did not do too much damage to young girls, teenage girls. Usually did not do damage to young teenage girls. Now that is a story for a long dark night and much mulled wine. young one. Arib shifted slightly on the rock, repositioning his right foot. She glanced once again at his humming companion. Did I offend him? I didn't mean to be rude. It just comes out that way sometimes. He's not offended. He's thinking. Again, that strange smile. So what happens next? Do I get a gift? A horse? A last meal? A blessing? A weapon? As I set off into the big, wide, scary world? Anything? Attempting to keep fear from showing, but failing miserably, she looked reluctantly at the old prophet. You get a great many things, Sabina, including a blessing and a horse. I take it you have accepted the mission the one has offered you. Oh, please. Like you didn't know. She punched him gently on the arm, then blushed at her audacity. But first, the ceremony. As my friend quite rightly stated at our first meeting, sacrifice, sacred meal. I believe now is the time to make preparations. Arib jumped up with more zeal than Zabina would have given him credit for, given his age. Perhaps they weren't as old as they appeared. Perhaps they were ancient, ageless. It was impossible to tell. So many secrets. What was life like in the town of the prophets? She wondered vaguely. How did it feel to live in their world? I advise you to start with the lock. Then you can ask for the answer. Zabina Kiriathim, be warned. Things are about to get really wacky in the world of one. Again, her mouth dropped open in surprise. Arib merely turned on his heel, walking toward the hut to greet her parents. She had a feeling she was about to find out just how weird her world could get. Till next time.